Hey everybody, so this video we're going to actually set up the new Condor Dolphin 2. If you want to see this unboxed, I'm not totally sure why you'd want to see that, but if you do want to see that, click the top right, there's a link to that video. So the first thing we got to do with the machine here, is take this bracket off. So we're going to just open up the cover, and we'll need our Allen wrenches that it comes with. So remove our gel pad there. And this bracket just keeps everything from being able to move around during shipping here, so we just need to just take the Allen wrenches off, or the Allen screws out. All right, so now the bracket's off. Now we got to go ahead and just set the machine up, so that'll be installing the probes and cutters, as well as doing the setup on it. Now this Dolphin has its own screen, so you don't have to use your phone, I guess, if you don't want to. All right, one thing I've noticed here too, you got to watch your screen. If your screen is up, you can't open or close this, or you're going to be hitting the screen. I guess that's something to be mindful of. Now go ahead and we'll turn on the unit here. It's over on the right. All right, and it's turning on. And we're going to select language. I'm going to go ahead and just put this down for a second here. I'm going to go ahead and just use English. So you gotta try to zoom in a hair here. All right, so it's asking us start to activate. We'll just agree to whatever that says. Probably just gave away my firstborn or something. And we got to go ahead and hook up to a Wi-Fi network, so we'll just use that one. And please look away here so you don't see my super secret password. All right, so it's connecting to the network. All right, so now we'll go ahead and hit next. All right, now it's asking us to download the Xhorse app, but since I've already got Xhorse products, I of course already have it. So let me go ahead and grab my phone here. And I'm just going to hit activate. I don't need to scan this. I already have the app here. No, I'm sorry, I misread it here. It's actually asking me to use the app to actually scan it, so we will do that. So on the Xhorse app here, I'm going to hit the on the Xhorse app, you just hit plus, and I'm going to hit scan, and I'll pull up a barcode scanner. Okay, I see. So the QR code on the left is to download the app. The one on the right is to actually combine the device to your account. So I'm going to hit send. It's going to text me a code. And I'm going to go ahead and just put the code into the app here. And hit done, and that should be actually combining. Okay, so now it says combine success. So I will set the phone aside for right now. All right, now it's telling us activate successful, start to use. Now I guess we're ready to rock here. So that system, it might need to be upgraded. So I head to the update center. All right, so it's definitely going to have to be upgraded here. You might have to use a computer for this part. All right, maybe not. Maybe this one can actually just do it via Wi-Fi. That'd be nice. All right, it's updating now. Then I guess you can actually just do it over Wi-Fi instead of having to plug a laptop in. At least that's what it looks like. So I'll just let this go and we'll come back when it's done here. Okay, so it's telling me request timeout. Please check internet connection. So I know my internet's good. So perhaps it does need to use the computer. Yeah, see, it's obviously on the internet because it's updating the database. It's just not wanting to do the firmware update. All right, well, actually, it looks like after I updated the database, now this is firmware is actually updating via Wi-Fi. So we'll just check back in here when this is done. All right, so it's updated here. Now the whole update process, it took about 11 minutes. It hit 50% and looked like it froze. I was actually getting nervous, and the machine did a reboot, and now it looks like it's all good. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the cutter and probe installed, and then we'll go ahead and we'll calibrate it. So it does come with our little grub screws here. All right, so when installing the cutter, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but yeah, you can see it. It has a flat spot. It goes on the right side, and you have to line that flat spot up with your grub screw. So what I'm actually going to do is get the screw started. All right, and then with the flat spot facing where the screw is, go ahead and get it nice and snug in there. And then the probe does not rotate, so it doesn't matter how that one is put in. And on the old Dolphin, when you calibrate it, you would put the probe lower than the cutter, it would tell you. So I'm going to try just to start with that here and assume it's the same. All right, so those are both in. So now we can start our calibration process here. Also going to need to install the clamp, obviously, because it's got nothing to go down and check height on. The clamp is not there. That installed like so. So first thing I'm going to do is just hit system. And I guess try machine parameters. All right, we're going to do a cutting calibration. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And it's saying ensure probe and cutter installed to the top limit position, then tighten. So I've loosened the screws, pushed them as high as they'll go, and tighten them back using the 1.5 millimeter cutter. It's going to cut a blank key, it's saying. So it says confirm probe and cutter are the same height. There's not an option to do that, so we'll just see what happens here. So we've installed and fastened the M5 clamp forward to side A. And the way you change the clamp, there is two sides to it. We have side A, which is what we're on now. If you loosen this thing all the way, this will actually flip over to side B, but we need side A, so we're going to use that. And it's saying to insert a HON66 on the clamp and then line the key up with the third location jaw. So they're talking about the third line is what they're talking about. Okay, so got that in there and tight. So I'm just going to hit start, and we'll see what it does here. All right, so now the screen is saying cutting calibration first steps finished, so press continue, so I will hit continue. And it's telling us to clean off all the metal, so we get our paintbrush out here. Excuse me, our brass chip brush. Go ahead and brush it off, and I'm going to hit continue. All right, well, it just indexed the key again, and it says calibration complete. And I think now I'd like to just go ahead and actually cut a test key here and see if it works. Okay, so for a test key here, we're going to go ahead and just cut a HON66. Good one to test it on. I've got a Honda lock right here, and the code on there is really small, but it's N like November 600 is the code on it. So we're going to attempt to actually cut that. So we'll go to all keys lost. And we're working on H for Honda. And so, yep, I know the code's there. It's November 600 is the one we are working with. So I'm going to enter that in. Hit OK. And the screen has gone dark here while it's thinking. I always use the one that says mostly vehicles for slightly worn keys or worn locks. All right, it's saying use tip position 5. So let me mosey on back down here to the clamp here with the camera. And position 5 is the last one. Go ahead and tighten that down. And I'm just going to press OK on our screen. And we're going to go ahead and just cut the key. All right, and I'm going to close the screen here so I can put our trusty Shio down here. And we can still see the key here. All right, so it's cut the first side. Brush all the chips off here. All right, and we'll just hit OK, and then we'll hit cut again. All right, we're at 94% here with the magic of video editing. All right, so now the moment of truth here. All right, and it works perfectly. So it works on cutting high security. And wait a minute here, worked on one side. It's almost like it doesn't want to go all the way in on that side. Yeah, just gave it a little bit of a tap. And that could be the lock too. This is a junkyard lock. And next here we'll try cutting in an edge cut key. All right, and for our edge cut key test here, we're going to be using a Suzuki key blade. It's a SUZ18 from a GSXR. So here's the key. I don't have the code for it, so we'll just go ahead and just use this to decode. And this is going to be, it's an edge cut key, but it is a shoulder stop. So we got our shoulder stop right here. And there is a groove cut into the clamp that this actually will slide into. And what you got to do here is just look like a little bit too fat. Anyway, so it's got to be in there far enough where the shoulder of the key will actually hit it. And you know, make sure you're pushing the key down flat. And it should be in there. And you got to get your thing out of the way there, otherwise the probe will hit it and it will break. And ask me how I know that. And so now we'll go ahead and put our screen, and I'm going to hit cut by code here. Just search for, now there's no SUZ18 in the Xhorse database for some reason, so you cut it under YM63, which is actually a Yamaha blade, but it works. So it is telling us shoulder align. And so we've done that. Click OK, and we'd like to decode the key, so it will go down there and do that. And we'll see what the screen tells us here. It says decode complete. And we hit OK. And it read 3224424. And these keys only have 4 depths, so they're actually really easy to eyeball. I'm sure you can probably just eyeball that and see that it did decode it accurately. And then we'll waste a key blank anyway because we're testing it here. So go ahead and put our shoulder stop back in here. And I'm just going to push the shoulder up against it, make sure the key is flat. And just move that out of the way. And on the screen up here, I'm going to just close our cover and hit cut key. Alright, so it's finished cutting the key, and the chips off here. And go ahead and try this guy out. And it works perfectly. These are single-sided, so it's only interacting with one side of the key, but see, it does work perfectly here. So that's demonstrating an edge cut key with the new Dolphin 2. So I have to mess with it here for a few minutes. I do like it. I think I will like it going forward. If I have any problems or anything with it, I'll of course make another video and report back on that. So that's going to wrap this video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. There's also an email address if you want to shoot me an email. And like, subscribe please to the channel. Subscribing actually does help. And that's all we've got for now. We will talk to everybody later.